Actor-director Joel Edgerton found himself obsessed with adapting Boy Erased, about conversion therapy. Joel Edgerton might just be the most prolific person working in film whose name you don't know and whose face may seem only vaguely familiar. "It doesn't bother me at all," says the 44-year-old Australian actor, director, and writer during a recent phone interview. "I think part of it is kind of a happy balance I've achieved where I don't feel my life is shut down by having too much of a recognizable presence in the world." Part of the design, he adds, is he enjoys playing very wide range of characters, men, and even creatures who also have a wide range of appearances. "I love playing dress up," he says, "and I love playing different characters, different from who I am in real life." But you do know Edgerton and have been seeing him on screen since the early 2000s, when he portrayed young Owen Lars Luke Skywalker's future Uncle Owen in George Lucas' second two Star Wars prequels. He went on to have key roles in movies that have included Warrior, 2011, Zero Dark 30, 2012, and The Gift, 2015, which also was his directorial debut. "I quite often get people frustratingly coming up to me and being like, 'I know you. I know you. Where do I know you from? And what movies have you been in?' And I have to start running through my IMDb list," he says. "And I kind of love that because it means the disguises work and the characters are all varied and interesting." That IMDb list has grown only more impressive in the last couple of years. In 2016, he co-starred in the acclaimed drama Loving. Late last year, he was all but unrecognizable, made up as an otherworldly orc working next to star Will Smith in the high-profile Netflix movie Bright, a mashup of a cop movie and a fantasy flick. And, this year, having already worked opposite megastar Jennifer Lawrence in the spy drama Red Sparrow, Edgerton is promoting Boy Erased, a drama in which he plays a key supporting role and that he adapted for the screen and directed. The film is out in limited release now and goes wider in the coming weeks. It hits Northeast Ohio on Nov. 16. "It's been quite a ride, actually, the last couple of years," he says. "Boy Erased has kind of sucked me into a nice year-and-a-half period of obsession, and it actually started between Bright and Red Sparrow. I was shooting Bright when I was given the book. I started reading it as an orc, and then I put it down when I arrived in Budapest to film Red Sparrow, and from that day on I've been doing something every day toward making that film happen." The book he references is 2016's Boy Erased, a memoir of identity, faith, and family. Gerard Conley's account of being sent to a conversion therapy program by his parents when he was a young man trying to come to terms with his sexuality. The film stars Lucas Hedges, Manchester by the Sea, Lady Bird, as Jared Emmons, the son of a Baptist preacher, Russell Crowe, and his wife, Nicole Kidman, in a small American town who believes he is attracted to other males. Jared ultimately relents to his parents' wishes by agreeing to enter a program designed to convert him from homosexual to heterosexual. The changing of names from Gerard to Jared, for instance, is suggesting of the fact the film is listed as being inspired by Conley's book instead of as a traditional adaptation. While Edgerton says he almost regrets changing Conley's name slightly because it has led to some confusion, he did want to protect the identities of others, as the author did in the book to some degree. And one of the reasons I changed the names is because I had read the book 3 times and then put it in a drawer, then just wrote the screenplay from what I could remember because, I thought, whatever's important that's stuck in my brain is going to end up in this screenplay as a rough draft, says Edgerton, adding that he found he had gotten names wrong his script and that it didn't seem to matter. He says he felt it also gave him more freedom to add a character who shines a light on something known to happen in such programs, but that was not reflective of Conley's experience. Edgerton initially devoured Conley's book, attributing that in part to childhood fears and fascinations with the idea of a person being institutionalized and locked up against his or her own will for one reason or another. I'd heard later on about conversion therapy, and I saw that as, like, a cultish, religious-based prison of sorts, where maybe the doors were locked not by a key and padlock but by beliefs and the fear of being rejected by God and being rejected by family. I was just so fascinated by that. Yet while Edgerton makes clear he believes such programs are very harmful and that homosexuality is not a choice, as several characters in his movie maintain, he avoids going over the top with Jared's experience. While the counselor Edgerton portrays in the film, Victor Sykes, and a couple of characters subordinate to that man certainly could be considered antagonists, Jared's parents, while arguably misguided, certainly want the best for their son. The easy way to make a movie and certainly the way to make more money is to have very clear heroes and villains, but I don't think life is necessarily like that, he says. You go through life with your point of view, and occasionally you butt up against somebody else's point of view and there's an impasse, there's some kind of drama and tension that's created from that. Speaking of Jared's parents, Edgerton says it's a coincidence he cast 2 other Aussies in the roles, saying instead that when he was shown a photograph of Conley's parents, Crow, Gladiator, The Nice Guys, and Kidman, Lion, Big Little Lies, immediately came to mind. I knew Lucas Hedges better than I knew Russell and Nicole, says Edgerton, who started in 2012's The Odd Life of Timothy Green, directed by Hedges' dad, Peter, and knew Lucas first as a child who would hang around the set. There was a need on a production level and a business level to get bigger, hard-hitting, A-list movie stars as they could playing the parents in order for the movie to feel bigger and have a chance to be seen by more people. That's also part of the reason he wanted Hedges, who can be seen in the recent release mid-90s and whose profile is on the rise, but not the only reason. I needed someone who could hold the screen in silence and be incredibly expressive because, as you see, Lucas' character in the film, he gets talked at a lot and spoken to and preached at and yelled at, around everybody else's agenda. I needed someone who could hold the screen without many words. Plus, Edgerton wanted someone who could pass as an everyman, a male who's neither a jock nor effeminate. He just seems like a regular guy, and I saw that aspect of him being an important element to reflect Gerard's real personality.